ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your next video. If you are watching this, you should have already completed the least common multiple video as well as the comparing fractions video, because it just works better if you have that background knowledge for this video. So this video, you should be able to order multiple fractions from least to greatest, and I know you've got it when you can correctly answer at least one of the two exit ticket questions. Your exit ticket question problems are going to look like this, where they will have 3 or 4 fractions, and then what you're going to do is very similar to what we did for comparing them. You're going to get a common denominator using the LCM, and then write equivalent fractions, and then you will use the inequality sign in between. So it will show that the first one is the smallest, and then that's less than the next one, and so on. Just like what you're going to be practicing throughout this video. Alright, so you should already have listed in your table of contents that ordering fractions is going to go on page 30. So you're going to get notes 3 from the mailbox, and it should say ordering fractions. So pause the video, look for ordering fractions. Come back and you're going to glue that into your spiral. Pause the video whenever you need to. Alright, so you're going to combine what you know about LCM, that least common multiple, or least common denominator, and I'll probably just say common denominator, and comparing fractions in order to order the multiple fractions. Alright, well, if they already have the same denominator, the only thing you need to do is look at the numerators then, and then put the fractions in order. However, if they have different denominators, then you find the LCM of all the denominators. And again, you will create equivalent fractions using the new common denominator, and you will compare and order your fractions. That's why you had to do comparing first. So what does that look like? Here we have a set of 4 fractions, and I'm looking at the denominators, and they're all different. So I have to find a common denominator of all of them. So again, whatever method you use, if you use the list, if you use the list method, that's fine. So if we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. That should be good. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That should be good. If I need more, I can always go back and add more. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. Again, I'm just going to write down some and then check it out. And if I need to add more, I can. Alright, so I like to start with the biggest number and then look. Obviously, only 5 has 10. Okay, and so that's not going to work. 20. Well, 4 has 20, 5 has 20, and hey, 2 has 20. So my common denominator, or the LCM, is 20. So now I'm going to write equivalent fractions for each one of these. So I have 1/2 equal to my new common denominator of 20. 2 times 10 is 20. 1 times 10 is 10. I have 2/5 equal to, what over 20? 5 times 4 is 20, so 2 times 4 is 8. We have 3/4 equal to 4 times 5 is 20, so 3 times 5 is 15. And 3/10 is 10 times 2 is 20, so 3 times 2 is 6. So now I have these new fractions with all the same denominator of 20. And what I do is I look at the numerators, okay, and I have to find the smallest one. So I have 10, 8, 15, 6. Obviously, 6/20 is the smallest, so that means 3/10 is actually the smallest fraction. So I'm going to write that one first. 3/10 is less than. I'm going to put a check mark underneath it because I got that one. Actually, I might want to write it in blue. There we go. Okay. Next one is going to be 8/20, and you always go back to your original fraction. So the next fraction will be 2/5. Okay. And then 10 is smaller than 15. So next we would have the original fraction of 1/2, and that leaves 3/4 as the biggest. And just to make sure I got them. So my final answer is what's written down here. Okay. Just for some humor. If I have 3 bones and Mr. Jones takes away 2, how many fingers will he have left? Okay, back to our ordering fractions. Alright, so the first step is to look at the denominators. So we have 12, 3, 6, and 4. And obviously, they're not common. So we need to get common denominators. 12, 12, 24, 36. I'm going to stop there. Here's another little tip. As you are writing your LCMs, finding common denominators, whatever you want to call it, it always has to be the biggest number or higher. Okay? So it has to be at least 12 or higher. So when I'm writing these, if you make the list, your answers should always go at least to the highest number, so like 12 in this case, or higher. So I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So here's my 12, so I want to go at least higher than that. I can go higher if I need to. 6, we've got 6, 12. I think you're probably seeing a pattern here, hopefully. 18, 12 or higher. And 4, we've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 12 or higher. And obviously they all have 12. So you're going to use 12 as our common denominator. So our LCM, or our new common denominator, is going to be 12. Well, 7/12 is already 12s. So I'm going to leave that the way it is. I don't need to change it. It already has 12 as the common denominator. Alright, the next one, 2/3. Our new common denominator is 12. So what do we do to 3 to get to 12? We multiply it by 4. And we have to do the same thing to the top. So 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, and 2/6. New common denominator is 12. We take 6 times 2 to get 12. So 2 times 2 is 4. So that's equal to 4/12. Last we have 3/4 equals how many 12ths? 4 times 3 is 12, so 3 times 3 is 9. Alright, so again I'm looking for the smallest. I'm comparing 7/12, 8/12, 4/12, and 9/12. Obviously 4 is the smallest, and so that means I'm going to start off with 2/6. Remember, always go back to your original fraction. Okay. And next we would have 7/12, and the original fraction is 7/12. And then of course we have 8/12, and the original fraction was 2/3. And last but not least, 3/4. And here we have our answer. Alright, on the whiteboard, you're going to complete this problem and come and show me. Show your work so I can see that you have your common denominator, and then pause the video, get it checked, and come back to the video. Just leave it paused, and that way you're ready to go. If you are at this point of the video, you should have, during the comparing fraction video, only completed the top part, because the comparing and ordering are on the same page. So you're going to get that worksheet out again, and now you're going to order using the bottom half of that sheet. So complete the bottom part. And before you start, how are you feeling about being able to complete these problems? There aren't very many. And then complete those. You can get some lined paper if you need to. Let me know if you need help finding that. And then after you're done, rate yourself. Like, how well did you do? Okay. You only get better if we keep practicing. Okay. When you're done, you're going to come and show me, and I will grade it for you. And then you will have an exit ticket. So come and get that exit ticket. It's exit ticket number 3 in the mailbox. Make sure it's ordering fractions, and it should have the same type of work that you've been working on with those 3 or 4 fractions that you have to put in order. Alright. When you finish that and your exit ticket, then you can work on IXL F5 and F8. This is in the 7th grade. Okay? It's in the 7th grade. So you're going to compare and order fractions and compare mixed numbers and improper fractions. So that's just a little bit of a challenge for you as an extension. Obviously, if you have other things that you need to work on, like long division, I know, how many times have I said that, right? So you can do that as well. But don't forget, whatever it is, go Hawks!